Dark Water is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen, besides Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko is awful. I thought it was a really good niche horror movie, but instead I was trying not to fall asleep all along the first 40 minutes of film. If you really wanna see a weird movie that leaves you thinking about it for weeks, just watch Primer. I don't know, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard it's really good. Dark Water is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen. One of the most criticized things about the horror genre is that many times it mostly looks for shock value rather than trying to tell a real story. So, in 2002, the director Takashige Ishise adapted the book Honogurai Misu no Sokokara, which means literally from the depths of dark water. I think that's what Wikipedia says. I know Wikipedia isn't the most reliable source, but what do you want me to do? I believe it. Okay, let's put some horror music. The story follows a single mother, Yoshimi, with her little daughter, Ikuko, who have to move to a new apartment. But inside this building is full of the most terrifying things for Emma Frost mains. Water. Inside the apartment, they start to see a water leak that never ends, along with an extremely uncomfy humidity since they're in the middle of the rainy season. Another thing must be keep in mind is that Yoshimi is fighting for the custody of her daughter against the fire since she's in the middle of a divorce. While Yoshimi is desperately looking for a job, Ikuko finds a red bag, and no matter how many times Yoshimi tries to get rid of it, the bag always comes back.
Drop it.
Over time, Ikuko makes a new friend, but it's an imaginary friend. At the same time, Yoshimi starts seeing this strange gear in posters and drawings, more specifically in a drawing made by her own daughter. Ikuko eventually collapses after having contact with the ghost gear, and Yoshimi falls asleep while she's taking care of her, but when she wakes up, Ikuko's gone. She starts looking for her everywhere and ends up finding her in a room completely filled with water, the place where the leaking water comes from, the same water that haunts them throughout the entire movie. The attacks continue, so Yoshimi investigates what's happening and gets to the water tank, where it seems the ghost gear's body is lying. Meanwhile, Ikuko, who stayed in the room, is fighting for her life inside the bathtub. Yoshimi finds her shortly after unconscious and unable to bear the situation any longer. She tries to escape, but slowly everything starts flooding, and from the door of her apartment, Ikuko comes out. Terrified, Yoshimi turns to look at who she's carrying. Ikuko tries to get closer, but Yoshimi stops her, and at that moment the elevator doors close. Ikuko runs as fast as she can to reach the elevator, but when the doors open, a wave of dirty water completely soaks her. And there's another part of the movie yet, but the main plot finishes here. It kinda reminds me to Silent Hill, you know, with the rain instead of the fog, and less milk. Another thing, we all know children are annoying most of the time, and I consider myself a very patient person kids-wise, but when the kids are like kids, I feel very annoyed, but Ikuko never was annoying to me. Even when she was getting closer to the ghost, you can understand her and feel what she's feeling at that moment. She's not doing wrong, no matter how much she's actually doing wrong. She was the best character in a Japanese horror movie. Changed my mind. I've heard tons of people say that the end of the movie is one of the most saddest ends they have watched, but for me it was pretty sad, but I never cried, and I'm a very sentimental guy. I've cried with a lot of stuff. A last thing. Despite being a horror movie, it never was scary, at least for me. Yeah, it was sad, I felt bad for Yoshimi and Ikuko, but I never felt like, oh, scary.